Hell yeah, students. Tom Morrison here, CEO of the Metal Treating Institute, and welcome to the YES 2024 Management Training Program. Myself and Amanda Motes here, our Director of Meetings, is here to help you make this an exciting program. And I just want to reiterate to you, the key thing about this program is if you give a little, you're going to get a little. If you give a lot, you're going to get back a lot. I've seen people that say their lives were transformed during this 10-month program. We want the same thing for you. So a couple things we want to talk about is the YES experience. So you're going to take in a lot of things during this next 10 months. And one of the things you're going to take in is connection. You have 44 different people that you're going to meet that are going to be your classmates. And I encourage you to really get in and connect in to see who they are and find your tribe, that group of people that you can really connect with, about 8 to 9 people. The next thing, speaking and presenting. So we're going to have a series of different opportunities, about 3 to 4, where you're going to stand up at your seat, sometimes in front of the class. And for 2 to 3 minutes, you're going to be presenting something. One, you're going to present what your company's about and what y'all specialize in, so y'all get to know who does what. At the end, in session 4, you're going to be presenting a life development plan for about 3 minutes. And in session 1, you're going to stand up and you're going to tell a short, funny 90-second story, even a serious story, but a story that represents you. And you're going to give yourself a nickname, which will be your call sign that you'll be known as the entire time. So your call signs are great. Collaboration, you're going to get to do some team building where you're going to be working with one another to accomplish things and do some great experiential learning exercises. And the biggest thing during this whole 10 months is learning, key learning on leadership and technical heat treat. We're going to have some stop-offs where at your tables, you will talk about operational issues so you can kind of figure out, wow, I'm not the only person that struggles with that, and you're going to get some solutions out of that. This is going to be a great peer group for you for the next 10 months. A couple of things we really talk about as a class emotionally is many people start at a different place than others in terms of their learning experience, travel experience. So some people have a little bit of experience at certain things. Other people have a lot of experience. So we want you to take on 3 different emotional traits during this year. One, have grace. Give people a little bit of benefit of the doubt. They may not be as experienced as you, or they might be overly experienced, So acceptance. Accept that people are like that and try and help them. And then forgiveness. People are going to make mistakes throughout this time in this class, and it never gets really emotional, but it's frustrating to some people when people make mistakes. So just offer forgiveness to that. And remember, everyone has a different starting point in coming into this program. But if you give all of yourself for the next 10 months, I can tell you, I've had people tell me that it's the most incredible program that changed their life for the rest of their life, because we're going to spend the next 10 months really digging in, not just into your technical knowledge and your managerial and leadership knowledge, but who you are relationally, health-wise, relationships, and your career, man. Just to really give you a total 360 view of who you are, who you want to be, and how to bridge that gap. So looking forward to spending the next 10 months with you. Me and Amanda are going to help support that effort so you grow and give as much as you want. And so right now what we want to do, I'm going to play a video of Cruiser, Kyle Howlin, call sign Cruiser, and he's been our facilitator of this program with the core group with John Boardman and Hatch for the last 15 years, I think. And he's going to tell you in 10 minutes what sessions 1, 3, and 4 that they facilitate are going to be like and what your expectations are. So here it is.
Good afternoon. Hello to everybody. How are you? My name is Kyle. Kyle Howlin. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. But first and foremost, I just want to say congratulations. Congratulations to being selected to be part of the MTIS program. You are joining an esteemed group of individuals that have been through this program, and I just want to say congratulations. That's a feather in your cap. You wouldn't be here if your company didn't see you as the future, as part of what they're trying to build in leaders in the organization. So congratulations to that. Also, congratulations to the fact that you are going to be part of what is the largest MTIS program, being that there will be 45 of you in the program, and that's amazing. To me, that's a huge benefit because you're going to get a chance to learn in this idea of peer learning much more, and you're going to get a chance to know more people. You'll be friends with these individuals for the remainder of your time in the thermal solutions industry, whether you're a heat treater or supplier. As I said, my name is Kyle Howlin. My call sign was Cruiser. I was a U.S. Marine fighter pilot, and I'll get more into that when we get on site in February in Greenville, South Carolina. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about my background. The important thing is the core group. Who are we? We're a group of men and women, military officers, all fighter pilots. that flew, most of us, missions all over the world for 20 plus years and retired from the military. When we got out, we all went into the business world, where we started our own companies and worked with businesses. And then we formed the core group in 2008 to work with companies, Fortune 500, Fortune 1000, esteemed organizations like MTI, where we walked in and we shared with them this idea of how to be a high performing team. And that's what we share with each and every one of the YES attendees. So our focus, our mission within the MTIS program is going to be share with you how you as an individual, whether you're an individual contributor, whether you're a leader, whether you're a plant manager or running a big element within an organization that's a supplier, how do you drive focus? How do you drive better alignment? How do you improve efficiencies? And for us, it's all about building and sustaining a high performing team. And for us, the foundation of that comes back to why are we doing it? And we do it so that we have a culture of excellence, a place that people want to come to. They want to work for this individual or work to be part of this team. And it's certainly for that, but it's also about value generation, because if we do this right, we'll generate value faster, faster than the competitive rate of change, faster than other organizations that we may be competing with. We're going to get into this in great detail. And what I wanted to do is kind of walk through one element that we talk about. And one of the key elements to any high performing team is this idea of accountability. And accountability comes when we have guidelines, when we have rules, when we have guardrails. As military fighter pilots, we always briefed the rules of engagement before we ever went flying. Certainly for safety reasons, when we're out doing combat fighter maneuvering or we're doing an air-to-ground mission, we briefed them so that we stayed safe, but we briefed them so that we were as effective and efficient in that particular mission as possible. So for the MTIS program, we also have rules of engagement. I'll go over these in great detail when we meet in person in February, but one of the highlights that I wanted to cover for you is this idea of accountability. You're going to have a lot of deadlines in this program. You're going to have deadlines as it relates to us, the core group, where things we're going to ask you to come up with, but also as going through this program, you're going to need deadlines, and that could be getting your travel scheduled, getting the hotel set up, other things that are going to be required in your online virtual learning, both for us and for Dr. Marks. These have to be done on time or early. So if you're given a deadline and you happen to miss that deadline, just be warned that in sessions 3 and 4, if you miss any deadlines, we're going to find out about it, because I personally track those. And you're going to have to come up at the beginning of class and do one of three things. You're either going to have to give $10 to the MTI Yes Fund, which we'll use that as part of the program, or you have to tell a joke, has to be HR appropriate, or you have to sing a song, 2 verses or more. So I cannot overemphasize, one of the key takeaways in this program is just that. Accountability, being accountable to yourself personally and professionally, and accountable to the others in this program. The program is broken down into 4 sessions. The core group is in charge of session 1, session 3, and session 4. In the first session in February, we meet in South Carolina, we're going to talk about this idea of a high-performing team. We're going to spend the day together. No, it's not going to be death by PowerPoint. We're going to have a lot of experiential learning. There will be fun. There's a lot of engagement, but it is, how can you, as either an individual contributor or leading teams, build a high-performing team? Then the second section is Dr. Marks. Dr. Marks is amazing. People love this session, and his focus is on emotional intelligence. Are you and what are you doing in the world of emotional intelligence? People have to work with people, and you have to understand that. And that rolls into our third session, and that reinforces everything we talk about in our third session. You cannot be a high-performing leader or a great leader if you have a low EQ, which is emotional quotient, meaning you don't understand the people that you're working with and for. So that rolls into our third session in August, where we're going to talk to you specifically about how do you be the best leader you possibly can be. At the end of that day, we're going to give you some homework. And that homework is going to be to build your own personal leadership development plan. This is a presentation that you'll give in session 4. That brings us into session 4 in October, where you will have a whole session in the morning about your individual leadership development plan. And what we do is we red team that. I'll talk to you more in detail about that. But each one of you is going to stand up, and in front of a group of your peers, you're going to brief your leadership development plan. In other words, in the next 24 to 36 months, where are you going to be in your leadership development and your personal development if you were wildly successful? You're going to build a plan out for that. Most people don't do that. We're going to ask you to do that. We're going to do that in the morning of session 4. And then in the afternoon, we're going to talk about this idea of high-performing strategy and how you can leverage strategy as a leader within your organization, even an individual contributor, to develop a strategy to win. I always say that the coolest thing, and one of the cool things about YES, is peer learning. You are going to be part of an organization of 45 other attendees that are part of a think tank, and it's going to be amazing. I promise you're going to get a lot out of it. And we'll talk about it when we get on site about what do you want. The framework that we leverage is the key pillars of a high-performing team. And it certainly starts at the top, at the 12 o'clock position, with high-performing leaders. And we're going to talk to you and drill down and share with you how we did it, why we did it that way, and apply it to your world and your leadership role. And then we're going to talk about high-performing processes, which rolls into high-performing people. How do we hire, train, and retain those high-performing individual contributors that lead into one thing? If all of this is working well and the value of the organization over time, we will establish a culture of excellence. Whether, again, you're a heat treater or you're a supplier, it's going to be a place that people want to go be part of because of what you've done. So that's what we're going to share with you. And that's what we're going to drill down on when we get together within the 3 sessions we're fortunate enough to be able to lead you on. Again, I want to congratulate each and every one of you. This is certainly a very esteemed group. When you graduate and you see at the meeting that we have in the fall, at the graduation, at the dinner, when you get to stand up in front of all your peers as well as other companies and organizations, you'll see a lot of people that have graduated from the same program. They're going to look at you, smile, and shake your hand and say, well done. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'll be joined by a couple of my colleagues when we get together in Greenville. So thank you. Safe travels. Can't wait to see you in February.
All right. Thanks, Cruiser. Everybody hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's what sessions 1, 3, and 4 are about. Session 2, he mentioned Dr. Marks. Dr. Marks has been doing our program since 2008, and he is phenomenal. He's one of the best relationship counselors, clinical psychologists you will ever meet, and he helps so many of our YES students. So many say that the session 2 is their favorite because Dr. Marks helped them see inside of them what was preventing them from being who they all want to be. So he is great, and we're looking forward to that. Now, the next step is plant tours. Plant tours are probably the favorite part of every YES class. They love going into people and seeing how they do business. And so we're going to see 2 plant tours in February, 2 plant tours in May, 2 plant tours, I think, in August. And then there's no plant tours, obviously, at 4 in Columbus and the graduation. So we've got a couple things that we go over. So dress code is, I mean, you can really wear jeans. This whole program is kind of business casual, except for the final program. On the final night, it's dress for success because we have a big graduation at our final dinner, but pretty much casual with jeans or not. Jeans are okay. When you're doing the plant tours, you don't want to wear, there's no steel-toed shoes required. They'll issue safety plant glasses if they require them. You can bring your own if you have some that you like to bring. And no open-toed shoes at all, no sandals. Make sure you wear closed-toed shoes for everything, at least at the plant tour. We ask you to respect the same rules that you would want if 30 plus, 40 plus competitors were coming in your plant. So no phones riding around taking pictures, no videos, you're there to observe. What we did this past year, which was really cool, was when, your plants are loud, right? So when you got 10 people standing around one person trying to talk and tell you what's going on in the plant, only 2 people can hear them, and that's the 2 people standing beside the guide. So what we did was we invested in a thing called Quiet Voices, and it's nice headsets that the tour guide's got a pack and a mic, and you can hear from 50 feet away what he or she's telling you about the plant. So it makes a much user-friendly environment. You're actually going to probably want to get these for your plant. We had a lot of people that experienced it. It's like, Tom, where'd you get those? So the plant tours are really good. And then I'll turn it over to Amanda. Amanda, you want to address the NDA?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Amanda Motes. You will meet me if you haven't already in February in Greenville and learn more about me. My call sign is Team Mom because I'm here to make sure that everybody stays on track, just like your moms do. So that's what I'm here for. A little bit about the NDA. So,
but let's quantify that though. Her call sign is not babysitter. Big difference.
Correct. That's correct. I will not babysit you, but I will encourage you along like a mom does. So about the NDA, we have MTI developed a standard NDA a number of years ago with their legal team that basically is going to be sent out to you. We're happy to let your teams look at it if they need to, but that all needs to be signed and returned. The same NDA applies to all of the plant tours. So this form is something that you'll only fill out one time. It is due back, you'll see on the deadlines sheet. It is going to be due back in advance before Yes 1 in Greenville. So you'll get some communication about that coming up fairly soon. You'll return that, and then that'll be the only time that you actually have to complete that NDA form. And then Tom addressed the plant tour dress code. And if there are any questions about that, you're welcome to call or email me. I will put my information in the group chat, but many of you have already been communicating with me via email, which I appreciate.
Awesome, Amanda. So another couple of things we want to go over are three key things to this whole program. Cruiser talked about deadlines. Deadlines aren't just when you hand something in. Deadline is when you got to be at the meeting at 8 o'clock. You're there at 8 o'clock or 7:55. Deadlines is being on the bus on time to go to the plant tours, because we've had some people lollygag 10 minutes and it really pushes the group behind. So just really trying, when there's a deadline, and here's the cool thing, Amanda will talk about it later, you're going to have a deadline sheet. It's a front and back of a piece of paper that by month has every deadline you're going to have to be take a look at. So we're going to give that to you when you get there, and she'll go over it in a little bit. But here's the three key things. Remember deadlines. A key one is listen. And when I say listen, it's amazing to me. When Dr. Marks gives his talk, well, you're going to be required to take 12 modules in his leadership training program in our online academy. But all we ask you to do is take the test. And we tell them every May, when you leave this class, don't go back to the online training and watch all of his 12 videos, which are about 30 minutes apiece, and then take the test. Because here's what happens. We get to the debrief at the end of the fourth session, talk about what could we have done better. You wouldn't believe how many people say, I don't know why you have Dr. Marks' online videos, because it's the same content we listened to in May. And I'm like, you're not listening. That's part of the leadership, is listening to understand the instructions. So you're going to see Dr. Marks live in May, and you're going to immediately after that be enrolled in his 12 courses. And all we ask you to do is skip through the video and take the 10 tests of 10 questions apiece over the course of a couple of months. It's just a big thing. Just make sure you listen to the instructions and stuff. And then the other thing is helping your teammates. Like Cruiser said, you're going to have a lot of camaraderie, a lot of collaboration, a lot of experiential team building, and use those team building opportunities to get to know people, trust them, and have a chance to get to know who they are. And our class from 2007 still has a bunch of people that they're lifelong friends because they went to that class together. All right, so now, man, I'll turn it back over to you to talk about deadlines with the online learning and the presentations.
Sure. So for the online learning, as mentioned before, we always start as a team and we end as a team. The only caveat to that is if some of you in this program have done online learning previously through the MTI Online Academy, some of you may have already achieved some of this before you actually joined the YES program. If that's not the case, which is going to be for the majority of you, then we were all going to start the online learning together. So we're going to discuss it more in depth when we're together in Greenville. But basically what's going to happen is after we leave Greenville, you're going to be enrolled into the first set of Online Academy courses. One of our colleagues here in the office is going to create an account for you. If you don't already have one, you'll receive your login credentials via email. It's going to contain your username and password. And then that's what you're going to use to access the system in order to be able to access the courses. So there's going to be a specific deadline that's going to be outlined on the deadline sheet for each one of the programs. So you'll be enrolled into the first program right after YES 1 in Greenville, and then it's going to be due prior to us meeting again in May for YES 2. Once Yes 2 is over, you're going to be enrolled in the second portion of the online learning. And then that's going to be due before we gather together again in Milwaukee in August for session 3. And then the final portion of your online learning is going to be completed after session 3 and then before graduation. If you do not complete any portion of the online learning, you will not be eligible for graduation. So that is a huge component to the program. We're going to be learning technical information, technical data. We're going to be learning workplace safety and fire prevention. And then we're also going to be learning about management skills and how to deal with people. So any questions on the online learning, that's kind of my area. So you can contact me via the mechanisms that I put into the group chat.
Awesome. Well, like I said, the NDAs, Amanda's going to get those to you. A lot of companies like to review those before you sign them, so have them review them before. It's a simple NDA that our board came up with. That's it'd be the same type of NDA that's in all your companies pretty much. So just have them review that. You got to sign that so you can go on the plant tours. And then the last is on this topic of deadlines is the company presentations and LDP. So in session 1, you don't have any presentation. Session 2, on day 2, you're gonna. Well, here's the thing you got to know about session 1. Everybody's going to be asked to stand up. We used to just surprise the classes with this, and it really kind of created some uncomfortableness with some people. But we started telling people about it beforehand so you can really get some thought to it. But don't overthink it. Everybody gets 90 seconds to stand up at their seat and tell a 90-second funny, it doesn't have to be a funny story, a funny or serious story that is really about you. And from that story, after that, you're going to tell the group a nickname that you'll be called. Amanda's call sign is Team Mom. My call sign is Spaz because my mind's all over the place when I'm running around. So you're going to come up with a call sign that will be your name for the rest of the year, and it'll either be a childhood nickname that you give us, or it might come from your story. Know this: if there's an optional 2 nickname that you mention, the group gets to decide which one it is. So we had one year where the guy was named Crash or Bambi. Which one do you think the class took? Yeah, they took Bambi. So watch when you give the group 2 opportunities, watch what you're asking for. So session 2, on the Friday, everybody's going to get up and have 2 minutes and 3 slides to tell the group, what is your company about? What is a little bit of your history? What is your company doing? What do you specialize in? Because what we learned is a lot of the classes before we did that said, I'd like to know what everybody in our group does so I can learn to do business with them or we can help each other. So that's the second presentation you're going to do. And the third presentation is what Cruiser alluded to, the life development plan. You'll do that for 3 minutes at the 4th session in front of about 15 of your classmates, because we got 45 people. We break it into even groups of 15. So you have about 15 people that you'll give a 3-minute presentation off of PowerPoint about what your life development plan is going to be. So that handles the rest of that. So
Quick
hotel
note
room.
about the call sign, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Quick note about the call signs. So you may start Yes with a call sign of your choice. But as you go through the program, you may develop a call sign that is not of your choice. If the group majority votes to change your call sign, the group majority stands. So I would choose your call sign wisely, but I would also continue to make good choices throughout the program, because if you go out and you have a wild night and you end up with something written on you somewhere, all the secrets are mine, then that's probably going to be your call sign. So I would just continue to make good choices throughout the program.
We've had many call signs changed after a good night out the next morning. So that's a true statement. I'm glad you mentioned that, Amanda. So Amanda, take the next step and follow up on hotel rooms, and let's share everybody how we're going to work that this year.
Sure. So we're handling hotel rooms a little bit differently this year. I'm sure some of you whom I've already communicated with, but some of you may not have reached out to me about this yet. So previously, we put all of the students in charge of booking their own hotel rooms, but with 45 of you, it becomes extremely cumbersome. There's a lot of communication, and the administrative portion of it just becomes really, it's just a lot, in all honesty, especially with all the elements of this program. So basically what we've done is we've decided to go ahead and make the reservations for each of you with the hotels directly. So I'll be in communication with you separately with your confirmation numbers. All of the hotel rooms are going to be starting on the Tuesday prior to the event date. So you're all going to be arriving on a Tuesday. All of the plant tours occur on Wednesday. The programming is scheduled all day Thursday with a group dinner on Thursday night. And then we do half a day on Friday. When you're booking your travel arrangements, please, please, please do not plan to have your flight leave until after 1 p.m. When we end as a team, we end as a team. So there's no cutting out at 10 because you have a flight to catch. Please do not book your flight until 1 or after. So when I send your confirmation email to you, you are able to add it into your Hilton app. All of the hotels that we are staying at for all of the programs are Hilton based. So you can plug that confirmation number into your Hilton app. If you do not have a way to pay for your hotel room when you arrive on site, please contact me via email or reply to the email that I send to you that has your confirmation number in it, and I will send you a form directly from the hotel so that you can go ahead and coordinate payment directly with them. So MTI is not responsible for the payment of your rooms. You're still responsible for those, but we are responsible for coordinating all of the arrangements for them. And again, if there's any questions on that, please feel free to reach out to me to either one of the mechanisms that I put. And I do see Stephen asked a question. If your reservation was already made in February, to the best of my knowledge, according to what the hotel told me, that reservation will still stand. You will not get a separate reservation, but I will still send you a confirmation number so that you can have it if you did not make a note of it. So that reservation will still be in place. And then anyone else who did not have a reservation, I will make the reservations on your behalf.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda. So one of the key components of this class, let me pull it up here, is the MTI app, Mobile Connect. And on there, you're all in you can download, you can search MTI Connect on your app store, download it. And if you have a username and password issue, it's what you logged into when you first got in to put your bios. We've got about 20 people that have logged in and put their picture in bios. We'd want you to get out there and put your picture and answer the 3 questions that I asked in the initial response to that thread. But that is a way for you to easily connect. Every one of you are in your own private network online forum there for 45 people. So you can ask whatever questions you want. And that's I know the next session, next piece we're going to talk about is travel. A number of people in this room, it happens every year, have never traveled before. And travel seems simple, but it cannot be if you miss a few key things. So we've got less experience travel versus a lot of experience. If you have any issues or any questions just about connecting flights or hotels or checking in or getting from the airport to the hotel, please post it out. This goes back to that grace and forgiveness and acceptance. And there's no question that is too simple and not able to be asked. So any questions you have on travel, take advantage of this class. And myself and Amanda, me and Amanda are both seasoned travelers. Post it out in the forum or just text me and Amanda a question you might have. Because the last thing, when I first started traveling, I've been there, I watched my daughter go through it. You get lost in an airport and you're like, what the heck? Or you're on the other side of the airport away from Uber and the taxis and you're like, what the heck? So if you have any questions on travel, please reach out to your team and or us and we'll take care of you. So any questions going through anyone's mind about, yes, our goal, mine and Amanda's goal is to always make you the most informed people that you can. I will take you out here real quick. I'm going to share my screen. Take you to one place here. So online, and this is actually in the app as well, online. You can go to heattreat.net. and click the training. And under this training is 24 yes preparation details. Everything you could ever want to know is here. Eventually, these will all have click here. These will be all the details. This is all the details for session 1. It's got everything you could ever need to know about the schedule and where we're going on session 1. And then you've also got session 2 and 3 and 4. And then every element you're going to be asked to do that we talked today, we're on the virtual group meeting, your bio in there, leadership and that. So everything you need to give to the YES program is all here for you to read. So me and Amanda are very transparent. We try to not keep you in the dark. We try and keep you very well informed so you can be able to work on your timetable without being late. So Amanda, you got any final parting thoughts for everybody?
I'm just so excited to meet everybody when we're all together in Greenville. I know this is going to be a great class. It's going to be a really big class. So you're going to have a lot of opportunity to really connect in and make some meaningful relationships with some of the people who are on this call today.
Awesome. So I'm going to leave with this. Every year I look at this as a personal purpose for me because my goal in life I'm a life coach after being CEO of Metal Trading Institute. And I take it my job to help take everyone in this class through a life-changing experience. So 10 months from now, you look back and go, holy man, I am such a different person. So we're going to talk a lot, and I'm going to challenge and engage you in a place to hopefully see you do that both physically, relationally, in your finances, and in your health. Health is so important. I'm actually on a crusade right now to be the health. I'm going to be 60. I know I probably look 40, right? I'm going to be 60 in February when we get together. And my goal this year is to be the healthiest I can ever be in my 60s. So looking forward to celebrating y'all with that. But is there anybody want to raise their hand and pop a question or just shout it out? All right, with that, my final comment is you have 10 months to get the most out of life that you possibly want to get. And like I said at the beginning, if you give a little, you're going to get a little. If you give all of yourself and get a lot, trust me, 3 years from now, you're going to look back, and I have it happen all the time, and Amanda's had it happen to her. You will look back and say, man, that was the most transformative experience that helped me be who I can be and be a better father, a better wife, a better spouse, a better whatever. But that's our goal, is to help make you the best of what you want to be as you start looking ahead and through these 10 months. So with that said, thank y'all very much. We look forward to seeing you in February. You got mine and Amanda's cell phone and email addresses. Text us or email us at any time if you have any questions on the program. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.